Number 8. 101 Dalmatians.
101? Well, where did they all come from?
Oh, Pongo, you old rascal!
This broke new ground for Disney animation in several ways. First off, 101 Dalmatians adaptation was handled by Disney's best story man, Bill Peet. He didn't have a team or anything helping him out, no. He worked on the story all by himself. He also worked on the story for Sword in the Stone by himself. That's just Herculean! Also, unlike most Disney films that take place once upon a time, this one is set in contemporary times, made to play in that specific time period. It gives the movie a fresh new feel, bringing in interesting design choices, especially in the backgrounds and animation that has a sketchy look to it. There are some people who don't really like that style, but I think it fits with the contemporary settings just fine. When their puppies are stolen from them, Pongo and Perdita set out to find them and the audience goes along with them on their quest. It's sort of the Hitchcockian element of the story. I also really like the side characters that help the two find the puppies. They're just hilarious in how they're like a ragtag military team, like the tabby cat, Sergeant Tibbs. 101 Dalmatians also has very few songs. There are only 3, including the inescapable
Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil. If she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will.
Speaking of her, she's probably one of my favorite Disney villains, mainly because of her design, and her voice matches just right.
All right. Keep the little beast for all I care. Do what you like with them. Drown them.
Under her skinny bod is this gigantic fur coat made from God knows what, and God knows how much mammal's fur is on that thing. The climactic chase scene is just intense, made even more thrilling when she continues driving and her car is stripped down to almost nothing. But does she care? No. She wants that fur and wants it now. 101 Dalmatians may not have many songs and the animation may seem different, but at least it has charm, a nice tight story, great characters, and plenty of action. It's simply marvelous.
Dalmatian plantation.
Number 7. Aladdin. This was very different from the smash hits Disney had before it, The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. Loosely based off the Arabian Nights story about a boy who found a genie in a magic lamp, Aladdin has a different level of humor than the other two. In fact, it's played as a straight comedy.
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
The story involves Aladdin, a quote-unquote street rat, who is living in the streets in the city of Agrabah. With his monkey sidekick Abu, he does everything he can to survive by stealing, always trying to get past the palace guards. One day, he meets and falls in love with the Princess Jasmine, disguised as a peasant. The only problem is that the law states that only a prince can marry a princess. When the evil sorcerer Jafar plans to use Aladdin to go after the magic lamp, things start to change, and the movie gets even funnier, thanks to a lively performance by Robin Williams as the genie, who literally steals every scene he is in.
Rick 'em, rack 'em, rock 'em, Rick, stick that sword into that snake.
You stay out of this.
Jafar, he's our man if he can't do it.
Great!
Some people either love the genie or find him annoying. I personally don't find much of a problem with him. It uses Robin Williams' style of comedy that feels improvised. In fact, he recorded about 16 hours worth of material for the genie. I'd love to know what didn't make it. Somebody should find that audio footage.
Mwah, you little punum there.
The songs are some of my favorites, especially the ones that the genie is involved in, such as Friend Like Me and Prince Ali. A Whole New World is also enjoyable, having the audience go along a magic carpet ride with Aladdin and Jasmine as they explore a whole new world. Aladdin manages to blend its humor with magic, romance, and adventure, and I can genuinely say it's the most thrilling and atmospheric animated film set in Middle Eastern territory since Popeye the Sailor meets Alibaba's 40 Thieves. Brisk story, remarkable characters and side characters, and excellent songs to go along with it, Aladdin is wildly entertaining.
Alright! Yo, yo, woo, woo.
Number 6. Lilo and Stitch. This proves that an odd combination can work if done well, made possible by Chris Sanders and Dean DeBlois. They later went on to direct How to Train Your Dragon at DreamWorks. Lilo and Stitch manages to mix aliens with family dilemmas. With that comes a very unique story even by Disney standards. You have a hideous genetic mutant codenamed Experiment 626, or Stitch as he would later be named, and a little orphan Hawaiian girl named Lilo who lives with her sister Nani. Their family is what they call broken, but they still have each other. You can really identify with Lilo right away and how lonely she is, not having a true friend, and you can see the struggles Nani goes through trying to raise her sister while trying to make ends meet. It's about as real as you can get. When Lilo first meets Stitch at a dog pound after talking to her, Lilo just adores the little mutant and decides to take him home. He also doesn't have much of a choice either because Jumba, his creator, along with Agent Pleakley, are both trying to capture him. So Stitch decides to go along with Lilo and Nani for refuge, but gradually Stitch finds compassion for the both of them. And in turn, Stitch realizes his own isolation and that he needs a family rather than having the task of destroying everything he touches. Other than having such mature themes, it does have something else that's unique for a Disney movie. There aren't many original songs as there are Elvis Presley songs. It definitely varies the whole breaking into song routine that many Disney classics seem to utilize. I also really love the watercolor backgrounds, which I think hadn't been used since 60 years before. It gives the Hawaiian locale a nice, lush feel to it, and as you expect it, you have some science fiction action to go along with it. I personally think this is the Disney movie screenwriters should use as an example for story structure because it's executed flawlessly. You feel for all the characters and you can identify with their goals, even some of the minor characters. With solid writing and directing and well-developed characters, Lilo and Stitch is a Disney movie you should definitely give a watch if you haven't already. And always remember,
Ohana means family. Family means nobody
gets left behind
or forgotten.
Number 5. The Lion King. The Lion King is usually everyone's favorite on their list of Disney animated films. This was the last of the Disney Renaissance that began with Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Much like Bambi, Disney tried their hand at a coming-of-age story. In fact, the animators called it Bambi in Africa. Also, much like Bambi and Robin Hood, this actually has an all-animal cast. There are no humans, not even on safari. Oh, by the way, please spare me those Kimba the White Lion comparisons. I've seen it all before and heard it all before. Oh, and those Hamlet comparisons also, if you don't mind. The story about a young lion cub named Simba is incredibly anxious to rule the kingdom of Pride Rock. His deceitful uncle Scar wants to rule the kingdom and plans to kill both his brother Mufasa and Simba along with it, and has a nasty group of hyenas by his side to help him out. He ends up killing Mufasa by pushing him off a cliff into a rushing wildebeest stampede, convincing Simba that he was the cause of his father's death. He tells Simba to get out of Dodge so that now he can be king, thereby causing Pride Rock to become a barren wasteland. The Lion King displays such unique music supplied by Hans Zimmer that utilizes this sort of African flavor to it. The songs by Elton John and Tim Rice are all great, especially Scar's Be Prepared. You also have some very talented voice acting, including James Earl Jones as Mufasa and Jeremy Irons as Scar. Although I have grown to find Matthew Broderick's performance as adult Simba a little bland, but it doesn't necessarily ruin the movie. My favorite side characters are yours. There's Timon and Pumbaa and Rafiki. Timon and Pumbaa may provide more of the funnier moments of the film, but they teach Simba kind of a bad moral to forget about your problems, just eat bugs, and laze around. Rafiki, however, teaches him the opposite.
Ow! Jeez, what was that for? It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Yeah, but it still hurts.
The past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. Ah! You see?
It all builds up to one of Disney's best climax sequences, the showdown between Simba and Scar. Although The Lion King hits on some very thematic elements for children, it still brings them unforgettable characters, story, and music, giving them a very visual, heartfelt achievement.